Just listen what's called the is the word of the guy who was hated by the god of failure. Just lean.
About fake love, the outlaw. No age can judge him. Truth is always born in the mind. If the thick book had a show in the right of bad, would you have ripped it up? Just listen what's called that is the word of the guy who was hated by the god of failure. Just listen what's called that is the word of the guy who followed the heart without Just listen what's called that is the words of that guy in the fight. Even the goddess of fate. Just listen what's called that is the word of that guy who loves and bullies diamonds. Just listen what's called that is the word of that guy who was hated by the god of failure. Just listen what's called that is the word of that guy who followed the heart without a He'll come for the sook and crooks and fear. He'll come before those who want him done. White card, the words of a man who never fails. Just lean.
Just listen what's called the is the word of the guy who was hated by the god of failure. Just lean.
No one here is taking back the heart. It's this kingdom and undead to waste life's grace. It is a fool who hides because everyone is his eyes. And the outlaw, no age can judge him. Truth is always born in the mind. The thick book had shown him the right path. Wouldn't have repeated all.
Just lean. City was cold. That is the word of the guy who was hated by the god of failure. Just lean. City was cold. That is the word of the guy who swallowed the heart without falsehood. He'll come. He'll come. For the truth and crooks in fear. He'll come. He'll come. Before those who wanna dawn. White card. White card. The words of a man who never fails. Just lean.
He says half the world is my love out. It's a mess, but nobody think it's a joke. Whether it be mother, sister, or daughter, whatever, he doesn't talk about fake love. The outlaw, no age can judge him. Truth is always born in the mind. If the thick book had shown him the right path, wouldn't have repeated all.
Just lean. City was cold. That is the word of the guy who was hated by the god of failure. Just lean. City was cold. That is the word of the guy who followed the heart without falsehood. Just lean. City was cold. That is the words of the guy in the fight. Even the goddess of fate. Just lean. City was cold. That is the word of the guy who loves and bullies diamonds. Just lean. City was cold. That is the word of the guy who was hated by the god of failure. Just lean. City was cold. That is the word of the guy who followed the heart without He'll come. He'll come. For the sook and crooks in fear. He'll come. He'll come.
Before those who wanna dawn,
White card. White card.
the words of a man who never fails. Just lean.
Just lean. City was cold. That is the word of the guy who was hated by the god of failure. Just lean.
Hey everybody. It's hot and my brain is going like, I don't want to be on camera. So it's ping tuber for us today. Happy Friday. I hope the day was restful and productive. We're not gonna do ranked today. This is hot. I'm feeling tired. I did want to still hang out and play games, but I'm also not at like I'm not also at like 100% tired. Oh, P. Thank you so much for the 25-month sub cap. I deeply appreciate it. Hi to anybody else that's here, whether you're lurking or otherwise. Deeply appreciate it. Robokai is out. I did not get the Strive season pass because I like Strive, but not enough to be willing to gamble on who the other two characters are without knowing what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, I like Strive 2.0 and I like where it's going. Just maybe not enough to be willing to like blow the money for a season pass. Well, that gives subtitle said now count up your sins, my dude. The number is going up faster than I can count. That is a good thing to be clear. That's good. So yeah, so I don't have access to Robokai because, being honest, I'm a jam player. We all know this, but I imagine that I'm going to be fighting against several Robokais tonight, so we might get to at least see some of how he works. They have essentially done the thing that they do in that they have been doing with a lot of Guilty Gear anyway for Strive, where characters have a very similar game plan to what they used to do, but it's not like a one-to-one. So Robokai in the older Guilty Gear games, Robokai would have make the controller display on. In the older Guilty Gear games, so having been made into like a fundamentalist, sinning equals living a good life, we take those. But yeah, Robokai in previous versions of Guilty Gear, or I should say at least in previous versions of Guilty Gear X2 that he was in, because in Guilty Gear X, this was not the case. Once he became his own actual character in Guilty Gear X2, and they actually like gave him sprites where he really is like, or he has and is using his own moveset. Basically, the way that it worked is that Robokai would have two separate gauges to keep track of. A battery gauge, which stood in for his tension meter, so for supers and stuff like that, and for using, in his case, certain special moves would deplete it, as well as an overheat gauge, where using certain moves would cause his overheat gauge to increase. As the overheat gauge goes up, the strength of his attacks also increases. But if he gets too hot, he would literally explode and do damage both to himself and to the opponent. So with Strive, I'm not going to go pull up his gameplay video because we don't have him. But what wound up happening with Guilty Gear Strive is that they... With Guilty Gear Strive, what they wound up doing was they let RoboKai keep the normal tension gauge that everybody else has, and now his battery gauge is a separate meter from that tension gauge. And depending on how charged up his battery meter is, whether it's level 1, level 2, or level 3, some of his moves are affected by that, and then they wind up yeah, that's what they thought. Oh. Oh, and then this is the one where they put the Thunder Seal. Okay, so then Kai gets the Thunder... Oh yeah, because they did say that. Oh right, I forgot. I forgot, we did get a new feature unlocked in Strive. Let me see if I can remember where it is. So, character playlists and a shared playlist, but the character playlist... Okay, I see. Alright, so... Let's see here. Oh, cool. So we have all of Soul's themes. And we can register up to 3 for each character. So... let's do this. I forgot this was even a thing. So here's what we're gonna do. We get up to 3 songs. We get up to 3 songs that we can do for Soul here. Just to kind of like... not because I think that the Guilty Gear Strive songs are bad. I like them. I'm just going to make a point of adding in, for the returning characters, I want to just do a thing where I put on some of their old tracks. It doesn't look like I have I have Holy Orders 2 and Holy Orders 3. So we'll use those 2 for Kai. I forget, are the Korean... No. I do not believe the Korean... not that I can see. Let me see here. I don't think so, because I don't know if they would have had the rights to those. Okay. Underwater. Yeah, so because we have a lot of these. So Axel. So where possible, I'm loading it with characters' old themes. And if I can't load it with all of their old themes, I'll do at least one of their old themes and their Strive theme. Oh yeah, fun fact, by the way, for people who have played I Want to Be the Guy, actually, wait a minute. Oh, I can still add more Souls music. Actually, this is good because then I can do. I specifically don't want to be the guy, right? So that's true. Entirely fair. So the game I Want to Be the Guy, for people who are not familiar with it, is basically a parody platformer of oh my god, Lambert. This chat is brought to you by Wild Cherry and Cream Pepsi. Also, hi Tiny, hi Lambert, how are y'all doing? We are just setting up our new playlists in Guilty Gear Strive. I'm basically doing a thing where I'm mixing in characters' old themes from previous Guilty Gear games with their new ones, at least of the ones that I know where I like their themes, and we have them. Chip. So yeah, but for those of you who, I Want to Be the Guy is infamous for being basically, for people who have heard of Kaizo Mario, where it's like, oh yeah, people like ROM hack Mario games in order to make them incredibly annoying and really hard. I Want to Be the Guy is basically that, except without doing any ROM hacking. It was made in Multimedia Fusion, and it was basically the creator just taking the piss on a platformer that is meant to, like, it's one of those things where it's like I say this in the sense of like it is mean-spirited, but more so in the sense of like you are being invited to kind of hang out with the bullshit if you're down for that. If you're not, it makes sense. But basically, like, you'd have things that like there are these fruit that would fall from trees if you would cross over them, but sometimes the fruit falls upward. Sometimes there are these spike walls that come at you. Sometimes they're fake. Like, a lot of it is basically just very deliberately meant to be like, it's very deliberately meant to be like a, yeah, this game is fucking with you. Like, this game is fucking with you, and part of what makes it work is learning to laugh with it, kind of. If that's not a thing that you do really well with, then I don't recommend playing it. But I bring it up because a lot of that game's more famous soundtrack choices are actually from a Guilty Gear game. Most notably, this is most notable in actually wait. Guilty Gear 2. Let me see. Yeah, because I'm like, I know that I have Diva here. So we'll do both of those. But yeah, specifically the music from the first area of I Want to Be the Guy, as well as the game over music, are both tracks from Guilty Gear Isuka, which is how people who haven't played Guilty Gear Isuka know about the music from that game. And then Nagoriyuki is Nagoriyuki. Maybe I should pick up the Season Pass 3 DLC at some point, just so I can like get everything together. And Giovanna, yeah, all the new characters obviously just get their own themes. All the characters who are returning, I give them at least of the music that I know for them. So I have to fish up the Midnight Carnival somehow. Dirty Drive and Requiem can all stay. And Gold Lewis is Gold Lewis. Jacko. That's both Juno and Perfection Can't Please Me. Hi Stubby. Happy Chaos. You can keep Drift, dude, I guess. Where is it? Whatever. Then Biken, good. Damn it! We don't have Momentary Life? I gotta fish that up. Alright. Momentary Life is such a good song. I can't pass that up. Let's see. Testament. We have those two, but I don't have the arranged version of A Fixed Idea. And then of course Bridget, we got to get her themes in. Drive's updating on my end. Yeah, because RoboKai just dropped today, and there are a couple of things that have to go in. Count Inside Me and Simple Life for her. Sin has a couple that we can use, thankfully. So with Sin, we have Right on Time, Just Do It, and The Hourglass can all go in. Bedman, let's see. Alright. We just have to leave him with the circle. The only Ishiwatari composed theme from X2 that I don't actually like is RoboKai's. Yeah. They made the very avant-garde decision of just going, hey, it's construction noises. This is the one time where I will say that basically the Korean OST had a much better idea for RoboKai's Guilty Gear X2 theme, which is that it is a harder rock remix of Kai's theme from that game. Like Kai's theme, so Kai's Korean Guilty Gear X2 theme is still rock, but it has a very, like, I want to say, uplifted, holy, and sanctified sort of thing, which makes sense for him as a character. And then when they did, for the Korean soundtrack, when they did RoboKai's version of that song called Vortex Infinitum, they kept the same leitmotif, but they made it a lot more electronic and a little darker sounding is what I would say. Damn it, I don't have Marionette either. Alright, well, it's okay. We can just do Guilty Gear 2. Yeah. And ABBA. Yeah, alright, then we'll leave you with Symphony. I hopefully I got some Slayer music. Slayer. I don't have his XR theme. So I do have Haven't You Got Eyes in Your Head, When Life Comes, and Ups and Downs. Good. Dizzy. Because I didn't unlock Dizzy, when I do her playlist, I'm gonna lose her actual song. Because I can't. Wow, I have none of her actual music. That's balls. Is it because I don't have her unlocked? No, that doesn't feel right. Doesn't make sense. I just probably never fished any of it up, which is annoying. But, alright, sure. Venom. When Life Comes. Existence. No, not Existence. Because that's not his actual theme. Unicam I'm going to leave alone. Lucy, I'll mix hers up with a couple of the others. Or I'll just leave Lucy alone, because I don't have her unlocked, so I can't actually set any of her music. Jam, though. Babble Nose, Babble Nose, and Trying Hard to Try Hard. And then RoboKai. Yeah. I can't do his standard theme. Yeah, Under Construction. So yeah, this is basically the proof that unfortunately we don't have the Korean OST. If we had the Korean OST, we would have Vortex Infinitum in here. But I imagine that the reason why we don't have it is licensing issues. So, alas. Alright. Let's save and return to main menu. Let's do some fishing. And see if I can, because I don't any of the and then I just got Under Construction Night, lol. Alright. What's the shame there? Yeah, like the Korean OST is really good. So yeah, we're just gonna drop some 50s, some 50 pulls. Alright, we got Momentary Life finally. And we got Midnight Carnival. Yeah, so basically the thing about fish is that, like, as you see where it says guaranteed, basically speaking, I get a fish every time I would have pulled something that I already have. And so whenever you get 10 fish, you're guaranteed something new, basically. At least one thing is bound to be. So with as many world bucks as I've pulled, I really just need to kind of just hit, and sometimes, as you can see, I get more than one thing I didn't already have. But as you can see, I basically have at least 10 fish per pull, if not more. So it's a lot. So, and they do stockpile, so it's relatively easy for me to like keep picking up things I don't have. Most of it is like avatar emote stuff. Some of it is music. Is the Overture OST in this game? Yes. I literally set Overture music for both Ramlethal and Hellfelt at some point. But yeah, all of the main series, as far as I'm aware, basically Guilty Gear music from every game is here. except for like the Korean OST for X2 Reload. That's literally it. Diva for both RAM and for L. Yes. Marionette is one of the ones we were missing for Elfeld. Basically, I'm also trying to see if I can like fish out some of the arranged Guilty Gear 1 soundtracks. But at least I think we at least should have Momentary Life now for Viken. And some of it is incidental music from Guilty Gear XR that I don't have yet, like that one. So yeah, a lot of what I'm fishing up is either Avatar stuff that I don't have yet, or concept art that's in the gallery. Lady Fascination for Jam. That's good enough.
Music playlist.
All right.
Quick Tower.
Let's just go to Quick Tower and go do some jam stuff. Option B is either to just open up a regular ass room, or we see Alright, let's see.
We've got a newcomer. Are you ready?
I'm not warmed up at all. And I have to fight Potemkin. Woohoo. Yahoo.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Yeah. Oh, it's there. Yeah, yeah.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Yeah. Ooh. Which means I probably need to actually change the music settings, I think. Because they don't seem to have kicked in, which means I need to probably change the music settings on my entry or something. Because it looks like we're only getting Bow Battles. Damn it, I wasn't close enough. Ooh. That actually was a combo. Blessings be. Oops. Won't kill, but gives me this, gives me time to hit. Ooh. Ooh, yep, good use of it. There we go. That used the Blitz Shield when I tried to do cross-up Gekiu and was actually really, really clever. I kind of deserved that. Yeah. Good use of the hammer fall there. Even if I tried to break early, I would have probably still gotten caught. Yes. Ooh. Okay, fair. Fuck. Yeah. I choked a little. 6P might have worked there if I hadn't choked that hard, but that would have been me. Yeah, that would have been a lot.
We've got a newcomer. Are you ready? Here comes Daredevil.
Okay, so that does answer that. I think I have to go and set the music in the actual thing to playlist. I gotta do that at some point. Because otherwise we're gonna just keep getting Bao Babble Nose. Yeah, come on, quit the match. Quit the match, because what is this shit? Is Unica's not a guy. Dual rulers, I do not know. Unica's not a guy. I've seen like one episode of dual rulers. I don't dislike it. I think it's okay, but I haven't finished watching it.
Quick tower.
Entry character. Yeah, here we go. Much better.
Who dares to enter the mayhem?
Yeah, that.
Jam Kratbebe. Bedman. Slayer. Bridget. FL Valentestamen. Potemkin. Axel Low. Johnny.
I just picked up Helldiver's 2 to play co-op with my brothers, aka accidentally dropped air types on top of them. Accidentally. Yeah.
Ice and castle crumble in the wind. Rebuilt it and it's swallowed by the tide. Castle made of gold burned down by mistake. But I love myself for heading back to the beach.
You've got a newcomer. Are you ready? Here comes Daredevil.
Huh. Let's see. I think this might have been the Potemkin I just fought. They just changed characters.
Mankind knew that. Duel 1.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Duel 2.
Yeah, alright, that's fair. Uh, Alright, can't do that. So, one of the annoying things about dealing with Leo is that one of the annoying things about Leo is that move that he does where he jumps up into the air with those slices going straight up his version of like a DP. And the thing about that move is that it is a charge. It's a charge input, down like a flash kick in Guilty Gear, which means that you cannot force him to actually like misinput it. So this Leo is insulting me a little bit by virtue of the fact that they kept doing it. Okay, yeah, it doesn't work. Yep, and then the throw puts him back from now. There we go. So yeah, whenever Leo's in back turn stance, it's not an immediate win condition for him, but it is a lot more difficult to deal with the things that he does when he's back turned, because his attacks come out faster, and it's a lot easier for him to sort of set up certain things to it. Yeah, that's his DP. Damage. Ah, damn it! I forgot to do that last part. I hate. And then, as you see, when he has this move where he kind of like advances forward with one of his swords up. Uh, it gives him a hit of auto guard. So if he manages to, if you hit him while he's doing it, he does get a chance to like do another poke that sort of stuffs you out. That you see it right there. That's right. And obviously, the move that he does with the little shield does let him like actually parry a hit when it comes in. Well, if it hits while he's back turn. Yeah, I'm caught. I might be cooked. Nah. That's good. He blocked. Y'all threw. Oh, y'all are talking about Helldiver stuff. Jesus Christ. There we go. Fucking baited it. Get fucked. Oof. I probably. Yeah. So yeah, Leo basically absolutely is like pure meathead tactics. It doesn't mean that you can't play Leo with caution or care, but a lot of Leo players kind of just play him um, big gorilla mode. So it's just like, all right. Oh, whoops. I forgot to post my go lives. Whoopsie. I should go do that. Mommy's baby. What should I? Should I make mac and cheese for dinner tonight? I don't want to wash dishes though.
We've got a newcomer. Are you ready? Here comes Daredevil. Man, Duel 1. Let's rock. Two. Sit. Eight.
Careful about too much backward movement. Fair. As a reminder for people who have not been here when I fought against a Nagoriyuki before, the basic idea behind the way that Nagoriyuki works is that hitting with normal attacks drains his blood gauge, while using special moves causes it to increase. The essential idea is that if Nagoriyuki increases his blood gauge too high, he basically gets bloodthirsty, enters blood rage mode, and while he does a lot of damage, his health drains incredibly fast. The ideal state for Nagoriyuki for those of you who aren't trapped in ad hell, is basically that he wants to have some expenditure of blood gauge, enough to maybe like put a little spice on some of his normals, but he does not want to be at blood level. At blood level 3, the gauge pops, and then he's in a situation where while he may be doing massive damage, he also winds up okay, this is very difficult. Because the timing, he's timing it very carefully. Yeah, because like I have parry as a defensive option, but as you can see, I start to be careful about when I use it, because if I try to throw it in certain circumstances, I will in fact just get fucking popped. Yep, there's 2H. You don't want to pop Blood Frenzy unless you know to kill them, because otherwise they'll probably kill you. Yeah, like, basically, in a good 9 times out of 10, DRG is Deep Rock Galactic. Sorry, that was slow. Yeah. Yeah, like 9 times out of 10, as a Nagoriyuki player, your goal is not to pop. Also, Nagoriyuki has this move now, which will essentially freeze the blood gauge at whatever point you use that move where he stabs his sword into the ground, it freezes the blood gauge at whatever level it's at. So if you do it when you're like blood level 2.75 or some shit, where it's like you're almost ready to pop, but you freeze it at the right spot, you get all the benefits of having blood gauge level 2 without having to worry about your meter going up any higher. Yeah, I might be cooked. Yeah, their spacing is really good, and I'm not doing enough tick throws and things like that, so they're just fucking catching me out.
敗北と思う。最善を尽くしたと誇れ。
I really want Burger King. Caving is bad. I always forget that Naga's gorgeous under the mask. Yeah, he is handsome.
We've got a newcomer. Are you ready? Here comes Daredevil. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Yeah. Wow. Wall break again. Yep. Yeah, Mortar. Good call on the Mortar right there. Maybe if I had done a Roman cancel, I might have been able to avoid getting popped by that, but that's a big. Not sure if that would have worked.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Yeah, as you can see, you do have the ability to use Is that Ramlethal palette based on Old May? I don't know. Maybe. They might have just given it to her to give it to her. Wow. Fucking ballsy. Yeah, I'm cooked. Kind of looks like Jellyfish Pirate. Yeah, it could be. Might be a coincidence, might not be. I do not know. I'm just mostly impressed by the fact that they decided to steal my burst by jumping at me. Not that it was like a bad call to do that, obviously, but just more so that you don't see that often. Okay, so, does the pounce like do a ground bounce now? What it looks like it does. Yeah, no, they baited. They baited. Damn, I didn't even get in.
We've got a newcomer. Are you ready? Here comes Daredevil. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Oh, I thought I had the counter. I did not. And now, pop.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Yeah. Ugh.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
I stopped blocking. Mm-hmm. So.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Did it again. Damn. Yeah, I fucked it up.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
There we go.
Duel 3. Let's rock.
I might have gotten hit by that. Yeah. Let's say, like, the ground bounce, I think, put me in a position where, like, it's frames. Yeah. Jabbed. Getting jabbed out whenever I try to jump. Yeah.
Move on to the next floor.
Oh, Burger King. Yeah. So I sat and I thought about about like having to wash dishes in either circumstance, and I'm just like, I don't want to. Disconnect from the server due to a network error. Okay, that might be as good a time as I need to indicate a switch over to Street Fighter 6. it in this order. Blessings for a second here. Because, and this is, I'm going to go a little bit into this and I'm not going to stay on it for too long. A thing that I didn't realize was happening until recently is that apparently God's most basic white girl singer has decided that she thought it would be really cool to have a wedding at Madison Square Garden. I'm okay. Nothing has been happening with me, thankfully, by the look of it. But I did just like read a report of somebody going, yeah, like I don't have power down here in Brooklyn. Meanwhile, I don't think meanwhile, I've gotten no reports that said celebrity wedding is going without. Which, all I have to say is that, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, and less annoying news. Yeah, we'll just play some casual matches in Street Fighter 6 also. I think I probably would have run into a RoboKai. I probably would have been able to run into a RoboKai if I'd been playing ranked. But I deliberately chose today, right? I deliberately chose today to not do any ranked stuff. Because I was like, it's really hot. And so I am not in the mood to, if I hit like a bad streak, if I had a bad streak in ranked or something, the heat will not help with my ability to kind of like process how I feel about that. So I'm like, let's not do that. Back for some pizza. I may be a little quiet because it is not a good day for back pain. Happy RoboKai today. Yeah, thank you. We did not run into any, but I suspect that's mostly because I did not play any ranked today. As a rule, when I know or feel like my brain is not doing the right thing, I'm like, as a rule, I do not play ranked play when my brain is not doing the thing, because tilt factor is something much more dangerous in that particular situation. Alright, so the chilling. I'm not a person that will do. Good throw. Oops. I messed up the combo there, unfortunately. I'm not sure how I dropped it, but I dropped it. No. Ah, no, it's my fault. I dropped it there. When I burned out, I could have still done my target combo into another thing and done that, but I was asleep. Welcome back, Cat Wizard. Oops. Yeah, no, I'm fucking around now. I'm getting. But I need to stop being silly. Sandblast, sandblast. Nope. Oops. I didn't have enough meter for Super Art 3. I thought I had enough meter for Super Art 3. That's the only reason why that combo dropped. It's like, I have enough meter for SA3. No, you don't. Let's keep going. Nice enough for cut. Nah, that doesn't work, buddy. So, the thing about a lot of super moves in this game, a lot of super art ones, like the one that Luke just tried to use there to actually hit me, normally they are what we call strike and ball, which means that if you try to hit somebody out of them with like an actual limb, like a punch or a kick, usually against a super art one, there are exceptions to this, but against most super art ones in this game, that doesn't work, right? However, they are not projectile invincible, which usually means that if somebody does a super art one and you have thrown a projectile, there are in most circumstances that projectile will stuff the super art instead of being invincible. So when Luke tried to go like, give me a break, gum gum Gatling, the fireball was already on top of him, and he does not have projectile invincibility while doing Super Art 1. So, you know, he got fucked. It's pretty much how that works.
Here comes a new challenger.
Okay. Blanca. Nope. Yeah, good though. The thing that makes stuff hard for Ingrid is that without using Super Meter, she does not have without using Super Meter, Ingrid does not have an invincible reversal. So in situations where she is put on the back foot and forced to block a lot, she can have a hard time kind of working her way back out. And I need to be careful about how much I try to jump against Blanca, because if there's ever a situation in which Blanca is like down charging, I could get hit by vertical blocker ball. Oops. Ooh! I'm a fucking genius. I set up. So, that's another thing to note. Drive impact in this game, which is this armored move that you see me sometimes do to try to bust through people and stuff like that. In this game, that loses to super moves. So what happened to Blanca in that last match was that Blanca did a drive impact while my projectiles from my Super Art 2 were still out. Yeah, that's drive impact, right? So if you try to, if you use a super move against a drive impact, then what winds up happening is fair. Nope. Yeah. I got the punish. I halfway dropped it, but they didn't catch. They didn't catch it. We take those. But yeah, essentially when Blanca tried to alright, I have to jab first. God. Good throw. Bonk.
You were mesmerized, right?
Yeah, good. Easily surprise hop there. Good throw. Yeah, like there was not a good idea for me to jump because you saw how Blanca was crouching, right? I could have gotten hit by vertical Blanca ball right there. Also, as you just saw, trying to drive impact against any Blanca ball usually not a good idea because if you mess up and you misread which one he's doing, you have a bad time.
Close your eyes.
No, but the back in the corner. No. Ooh. So, the other tricky thing about Blanca is that move that he just tried to use on. Blanca has a command throw called Wild Hunt, where he basically does a slow jump at you and then grabs you at the end of it. He basically uses it as a mix option in addition to varying which version of Blanca ball he uses. So that, like, if, for example, you're planning on trying to, like, perfect parry a Blanca ball, he just does Wild Hunt instead, and then you kind of eat shit. Yeah, see how he was crouching there and then I jumped at him like a clown and I got stomped on? Messed up the input. Probably after that drive impact that he whipped, if I'd done standing heavy kick, that might have reached, which would have been a better option. Yeah, see? Like, in this case, I did something foolish and was trying to just DI there when I really shouldn't have, but like... Okay. No. No. Yeah. The neutral jumps that Blanca has been doing has also been to like bait drive impacts, which makes sense. Like I can't be upset with him about that. It's sensible. And that's why I want to be careful about trying to like drive impact out of the corner. If you're in the corner and your attempt in your line of thought is to like drive impact back, you want to avoid it usually for those reasons. Unless somebody is doing something that is extremely unsafe that you feel like you can call out relatively reasonably, you don't want to do that. Yep. Again, Blanca was throwing crouching almost there, so I shouldn't have jumped. Right? characters though. There we go. Gotcha. That's the other thing about Wild Hunt. While you can use it as a surprise tool and an approach tool, if the other person is awake enough, they either anti-air it or they jab it, and you kind of eat shit. Not a fun place to be as a Blanca player. That was dangerous. Blanca can still technically, even if you try to jump behind him, he can still hit you with vertical Blanca ball because it's a down-up charge as opposed to like an input motion. So you can't force Blanca to drop it by crossing him up at the right distance. And that's a lot of the time why I like to hold on to stun crests a little bit. Just in case I need to, like, absolutely fucking zap somebody off of a stray laser. See? Blanca was crouching for good chunks of that. Shouldn't have jumped at him. I didn't get caught, but that was more a function of being fortunate than anything else. Let me actually one is enough. Nope. Yep. Yeah, the hard part is that I need to be a little bit more careful about my spending with drive gauge, because what's happening a lot is that I am overspending on drive, getting pushed too close to the corner, and then I have to worry about, like, Blanca doing some shit, and then I get caught out. Nope. Debated. That shouldn't have worked. I got very lucky there. Yep, there's vertical. So yeah, the trick with Ingrid's Super Art 2, as rarely as I use it there, either you want to do it in a combo or you do it after a knockdown, because what happens is that then while the opponent is getting up, the startup is already happening, and then they're basically waking up into having stars fall on their head. I did not respond to that. Oop. Caught me jumping. That almost never works. The fact that that worked at all is kind of amazing. And then I still botched the execution afterwards, but still. Unfortunate. Yeah, I'm cooked.
Blanca wins. Round one. Fight.
Oops. I got the jab, but didn't react in time otherwise. Nope. Called me out, which is fair.
Round two. Fight.
I'm probably gonna get cooked, but I at least tried.
Blanca wins. Round one. Fight.
See? I still have plenty of tricks.
Round two. Fight.
There we go. Yep, fair. They mistimed that. Funk. That didn't respond. Didn't do that right. Unfortunate. This I did do well. Ooh, yeah. That's what I mean by you can't cross them. But that little hop that Blanca did, that you see Blanca doing sometimes to like get in front of me, called surprise hop. And the thing about surprise hop is that it can also... wrong one. The thing about surprise hop is that it can also be used to allow Blanca to basically do a grounded cross-up on the opponent. So it's one of those things where, like, if you knock somebody down as Blanca, and then you have time to do surprise hop, you can theoretically switch sides on them without having to jump over them directly. Which means it's also possible to space surprise hops if you don't cross over, if you provided that you're in the right position. Like that, right? You saw that Blanca used it to cross behind me and then tried to grab me. And he also used it to gain ground. There, he couldn't have done that. Yeah, Yep. Couple knee, and then I'm cooked. Also reasons why you shouldn't just block a ball like I'm doing. Like, you really should try to, even if you mess up the punish like I did there, it is much better to at least try to parry Blanca ball, because the damage that you eat to your drive gauge by not parrying it is the damage you eat by not parrying it is not worth it. Gotcha. That's my favorite check on people as Ingrid. One of my favorite checks on Ingrid with people is just, oh, I spaced you out far enough for lasers to hit. I'm expecting my food to show up soon, so I am going to take a second and just chill. But yeah, one of my favorite ways to sort of check people, right? One of my favorite ways to check people while playing as Ingrid is more or less, alright, if I've spaced you out far enough, and then I do like level 2 laser or EX laser, what is your response? Did you get caught? If you got caught, okay, cool. Guess what? Do I have meter for Super Art 3? I do have meter for Super Art 3. Oh, sorry, I guess I killed you. One of my favorite reaction checks to do to people in this game when using Ingrid specifically. It's just like, all right. And so, like, the important thing is mostly that, like, the set is going to be here soon, but maybe not that soon, actually. Because it looks like there's still a bit of a ways out of town. But yeah, like the trick is always mostly that, like, so yeah. As you can see, even if Ingrid has only like one sun crest, even with only one sun crest, even at like round start distance, Ingrid can reflex check people with heavy labor very, very easily. Oh, the food is here. All right. So yeah, like, so that is one of like my very basic boy tactics as far as playing Ingrid goes, where it's like, if I want to check if people are awake. Even so, I should go back over the way her moves work, because I sort of just went at it assuming that people are here who know how she works or have seen me play her before, and I shouldn't do that. So if you look up on the player one side of the screen, where Ingrid's health bar and drive gauges, where you see that one right there next to a mark, that's called a sun crest. Ingrid can hold up to 4 sun crests at any given time, and certain moves that she uses will either manually expend up to 2 sun crests when she uses them automatically, or you can optionally use up to 2 sun crests to enhance them. Ingrid starts every round with 1 sun crest. As I said before, you can hold up to a maximum of 4 sun crests. All of her special moves, or moves that can consume sun crests, will either consume up to 2 automatically, or optionally can be made to spend sun crests. Example of this, we have her heavy ground laser. Once again, ad breaks are going to steal you all from me. So, her laser. On the ground, if you do the light version of her laser, you get a sun crest. If you do the medium version, you get the base version of her laser, which does not use up a Sun Crest when used, but you can't really use it for combos. The heavy version, when you use it, will use up either one Sun Crest or two Sun Crests, depending on how many Sun Crests you have. If you use the EX version of Ingrid's laser, essentially pretend that it adds an extra level on top of what you already have, right? So if you have two Sun Crests, and then you use EX laser, it's as if you did essentially like a quote-unquote level 3 laser. And so for Ingrid in particular, a lot of her playstyle revolves around stocking and using her Sun Crests. Sun Crests captions. Thank you. They didn't make it. But yeah, the main idea behind playing Ingrid is you want to stock up and use her Sun Crests as you are playing. For example, with her Super Art 2, you can choose just let it rip, or if you hold down the button and has Sun Crests available, you can burn up to 2 to add an extra laser to her Super Art 2. For her Super Art 1, you can choose to use up 1 Sun Crest for a bit more damage, 2 for even more. As I've said on a prior stream, it's good that they've only limited her to spending 2 at a time, because that allows you, for example, if you get up to 4, right? Then you basically have 2 sets of 2 to use for whatever purposes you see fit. If you get up to 3, then you got one level 2 laser and then one level 1 laser.
Here comes a new challenger. Round 1. Fight.
Fun. Fun. Yeah, caught me. Ingrid mirrors are always interesting. Wow. Yeah, they went heavy on that. But it gives them time to recover all the drive that they spent, so that makes sense.
Ingrid wins.
Wow, okay, asshole. People who one and done are so boring. I hate that shit. One and doneing is scrub tactics. Well, it isn't really. I'm just picky. Oh, hold on. Way Forward is making a new Shantae game. All right, big dogs. I respect it.
Poison's on the menu. Ah, right on time. Just go open it. Put it. Knock, knock. Put it. Eat it, little one. Come here.
Yeah, good use of that. Get slide, get out there. Thank you. Good dad. So, the other thing about Ingrid is that those little projectiles you see me put out every now and again, little balls that stop before they move. If I hold the input when I put one of those out, it does actually adjust it does adjust like the timing of a trajectory just a little bit. That's good. So yeah, Super Art 1, as you saw, right? I couldn't grab. I attempted to grab Aki out of that, and that's why I got hit. If, for example, I put another one of my little sunshots, like right on top of her instead, would have stuck her cold. Ooh, yeah, good reaction. And the dangerous thing about Aki is that if she poisons you, and then hits you with certain other special moves, like that, she activates something called Toxic Blossom. And when Toxic Blossom is activated, usually you are juggled so that she can do other stuff afterward. Like that. Huh, unfortunate.
Aki wins. Round one. Fight.
Good though. I need to be careful about how I jump because while Aki does not have... This Aki is extremely patient, I'll tell you that much. I mistimed that by a lot. Okay. Yeah, no, of course. Maybe if I'd done jumping medium kick, that would have crossed stuff and hit her, but I might have messed. Maybe not.
Round two. Fight.
Yeah. I can't feel sorry for your spine. Contortion towers. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. When Aki does that little crawl that you've been seeing her do like that, he can either stop it short, do the diving attack, or do a command grab out of it, or like a set of like little kicks that are very hard to punish. I should read it over here. Yep. So yeah, Aki's whole thing is deliberately to poison you. Pop Toxic Blossom. And then once it's popped, he has pressure for days, basically. I think so.
Should be more careful.
Ooh, that's spicy. Ooh, wow. Lucky. Extremely lucky. Extremely lucky. If her fireball had faster recovery when I did that, I would have been cooked. And that's the reason why I can't do that a bunch. Because if Aki suspects it's coming, he does that version of Toxic Blast, just goes straight up, and that's the anti-air.
Close your eyes.
Oop, fair. That's fair. Woo! Mm-hmm. Good though. Yeah, the poison does not stay stuck on you forever. You don't hit Aki to make it go away. But the period of time it does stay on you, if you don't hit her, is very discouraging for just trying to like wait it out if you can help it.
Should be more careful.
A little too slow on that one, unfortunately. They tried to command grab me there and misread the spacing. Good. Yep. Toxic Blossom, and then fly again. And that is why using Ingrid's Super Art 2, when the opponent is knocked down with the correct timing, is extremely effective as a tactic. It often puts them in a situation where Unfortunately, you have to be very careful with that EX slide that Aki did there. That gets you out of a lot of situations. But as you see, you mess up the spacing, puts you right in front of somebody, and you have a bad time. Good throw. Good throw. Again, I want to be careful about like how often I want to be careful about like how often I do certain kinds of teleports, because if I make it too obvious that there's a very specific thing I want to do, very easy for me to get caught out. Whoop! Didn't make it over. Bonk. So yeah, ooh. A lot of corner carry, a lot of dive spent, but I'm poisoned now. Good throw. Whew. I would have preferred to get like a corner to put them in to the back, but I'm a little. Yep. So yeah, any situation where Aki gets to end in a toxic blossom like she did is good for her, especially if she's sorry. Any situation where she gets to end with poison view after spending a poison is pretty good, because it just puts you back in the position that you were in before she did the combo. Just with less health even. There we go. And yeah, so sometimes when people don't fall for the vibe check with OD laser, sometimes the key is just to kind of like wait and feel it out. Is this a Manon? Yeah, okay. I was right.
Greetings. Prepare.
Round one.
But yeah. Yeah, Manon's thing is long limbs. I messed up. Anytime he grabs me with like that grab or a certain other move, he gains medals. As she gains medals, some of her throws gain strength. The medals do not reset between rounds. So essentially speaking, yeah, as far as I'm concerned. So essentially what winds up happening is that when Manon hits 3 medals, it's not like immediate, you lost, pack it up. But 4 or 5 is like, ooh. That was very risky. They assumed that either I was going to jump or press a button, and then that would have caught me in either of those cases, but I did either of those things. But they just ate shit. Okay. At least attempt to respect me and don't embarrass Tampa Bay any further than you already have. Okay, Monster, please. Thank you. Very appropriate response, instead of whatever the fuck you were doing before. Good. Thank you, actually. Sometimes, because like... I hate one and doneers. I really do. Eat shit. Stubby, I guess so. Oh. Lady Oscar from Rosa Versailles. That's true.
Right on time.
Thank you, Sasha. I hadn't even thought about that. You're right. Also, my keen on people who finished the set. Yeah. Yeah, it is Oscar, isn't it? Thank you for that. Sometimes I forget. I forget these things. All right, I'm playing around a little bit too much in the sense that I'm pressing too many buttons. Got you. Yeah. I got fucking caught by step kick. I might have assumed Gladius was coming, so I deserve to get hit by that. But is the Rose? Lady Oscar, like, Oscar's Oscar. That's the only thing I have to say about that. Don't think too hard about it. You're thinking too hard. Oscar's Oscar. Yeah. Like, slightly less facetiously, because it is France that we're talking about, it's supposed to represent, like, you know, not so French military outfits, but Oscar is Oscar, is the simplest way I can put it. Yeah. Oh wait, I'll bury you. I'm dead.
Marisa wins. Round one. Fight.
Ah. Hmm. Yeah, like you can't throw the 1-2 and do nothing. As Marisa said, you gotta commit to something. Yeah, fair. And that's why I didn't want to do that. Whenever Marisa charges up Gladius like that, it has an armor break property on it. So if you try to like drive impact Marisa out of a charged Gladius specifically, you eat shit. It's not fair. If you don't charge it, that happens. But I can't believe I actually managed to. I'm really happy I somehow managed to get away from that fucking Super Art 3. That I think I either threw Fireball early enough and it recovered fast enough that I didn't eat 10 billion tons of shit and eat that Super Art 3 straight to the dome. Because otherwise, nah, I would have got. Bonk. Ah, too slow.
Ingrid wins. Round one. Fight.
Yeah. Like, Ingrid is canonically the most powerful character in the Street Fighter universe.
Where are you going? Strike three. Up you go.
Ooh.
That was a beautiful fight.
Round two. Fight.
Squirrel Girl, but with omnipotent powers that exceed her. Yeah. Like the whole thing with Squirrel Girl, for people who aren't familiar. Also, welcome in a Beast of Prey. Wonderful reference, by the way. Always makes me smile to see that sort of reference out in the wild. It's somebody's name. But like, yeah. People who aren't familiar with Squirrel Girl usually like Marvel. What is the deal with Ingrid? I didn't know the Street Fighter universe had magic. Ingrid is basically an extra dimensional goddess who is essentially taking on a form that we can grasp to interact with us, to interact with characters in the Street Fighter universe on their level, essentially speaking. She was supposed to be in a game called Capcom Fighting All-Stars that got dead. Very close. Basically, literally all I have to do is just make a bad decision. I make one bad decision, I kind of eat shit here because it's Marisa. Yeah, like that. Um, essentially speaking, Ingrid is we want is fine. Ingrid's whole thing is that she is an extra dimensional. She's an extra dimensional being that you could essentially equate with like the level of a goddess. And she observes multiple dimensions and is just otherwise pretty chill. Right, lore. She was supposed to be in a game that Capcom canceled called Capcom Fighting All-Stars. And while she had been playable in other Street Fighter games, or like certain other like crossover content, like she's been in Capcom Fighting Jam. That's playable. That is where she technically made her debut after All-Stars got canceled. Capcom Fighting Jam, or Capcom Fighting Evolution, as the English name is. He then got added in as a secret character to the PSP version of Street Fighter Alpha 3. And was like implied / mentioned to exist in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So Street Fighter 6 is actually like the first canonical game where Ingrid has been a member of the cast. So essentially speaking, within the canon of the Street Fighter universe, her story as portrayed here is canon. So yeah, literally an extra-dimensional goddess vibing in material way. Yeah, he pretty much just kind of like relaxes. That's her thing. Her main role in the Street Fighter 6 story, up until Ingrid, I thought Street Fighter was the only fighting game series that didn't have magic and dimensional stuff. Virtua Fighter doesn't have either of those. To answer your question, Shiny, Virtua Fighter, for all that it will rely on things like brainwashing and super science and things like that, Virtua Fighter does not have magic nor dimensional stuff. Yeah, Guilty Gear is a rock opera disguised as a fighting game. And I say that with love, not with like an ounce of malice in my heart. I am glad to hear other Ingrid Ball knowers. Yeah, I will not lie and say that, yeah, like I played Ingrid in Capcom Fighting Evolution, but I haven't played Capcom Fighting Evolution. I can be completely honest about that. I always thought her design was cool. Some of the conceits behind her moveset were also pretty interesting. It's just that I think Street Fighter 6 in particular has condensed and otherwise refined her playstyle in a way that her previous iterations didn't 100% have the juice in certain aspects. Like this game, I think puts oh yeah, yeah, Doc Sparkus is interesting. Oh, okay. So that does work. Huh. Alright. That's good to know. Thank you, Blooming. You taught me something. I always thought that to get Super R3 off of Laser, you needed heavy laser? But maybe not. But yeah, I just happen to be an Ingrid Ball knower because I can't say that I'm straight on all fighting game lore, but a lot of fighting games where the lore at least vaguely interests me, I know at least a little bit about it. This is even true of like as much as I don't play Mortal Kombat, I know even like a little bit of Mortal Kombat lore, kinda. But yeah, I don't play it. And Darkstalker's lore, I'm not super familiar about, mostly because there's a lot going on in that series. I know a couple. That's fair. I've been following Guilty Gear lore since I managed to get my hands on X2 back in the day. Still can't. Yeah. Last Friday. So normally Beast, like on Fridays, I do Fighting Fridays like this. We spent like the last part of stream with me looking at the wiki to make sure that I could cross-reference everything correctly, trying to explain it as I was going, because there are things I'm like, I know most of this, but I need to double check this and explain certain things correctly, and even then it's still a lot. Yeah. The simplest way to explain Mortal Kombat lore is that there are canonically, literally at minimum 3 different iterations of the Mortal Kombat timeline, and the fact that each one hang on, I messed up. I hesitated again. Fuck me. Ooh! Oh, thank God that reached. I was sweating a little. I'm a firm believer in supporting series and learning info about them, even if you're not fully anything like that. Plus, learning is fun. Yeah, learning is fun and reading is fundamental. I'm very, very happy that I was not burned out and that I was able to make that EX laser reach, because otherwise I would have been fucked. My butt clenched a little bit during that, not gonna front. Go. Funk. And yeah, Mortal Kombat Timeline is wild with how many times I got rebooted. I got into MK when 9 came out. I actually got the soundtrack. Yeah. So basically, for people who want to know the skinny about Mortal Kombat lore, the original Midway games up until Mortal Kombat Armageddon, so like the first 8 Mortal Kombat games make up one timeline. And at the end of Armageddon, essentially speaking, the timeline got reset. And that's how you get Mortal Kombat's 9, 10, and 11. Those are all part of that timeline. At the end of 11, it gets reset again. And that's where we have Mortal Kombat 1. And possibly whatever else comes after Mortal Kombat. If NRS can even be bothered. The complicated part is that Mortal Kombat 1 basically canonized the multiverse for Mortal Kombat. Because initially, at least, right? Unless I'm missing some other obscure lore from like the Midway days or what have you. Essentially speaking, there was no multiverse in Mortal Kombat before the events that led into the creation of Mortal Kombat 1. What essentially wound up happening was that some of the DLC for Mortal Kombat 11 is set up in such a way that either Liu Kang or Shang Tsung becomes basically the new god of time at the end of Well, it's a little more complicated now. Yeah. True. Warner. That's correct. That's correct, Sasha. Thank you. But yeah, essentially speaking, the DLC for Mortal Kombat 11 essentially created a breakpoint that allowed for multiverse theory to become true, though Mortal Kombat 11 in particular also sort of implied it before then. Ooh, it's fancy. I respect that though. If they get the 5, I'm good. Yeah, because I'm autopilloting. Yeah. Yeah. The way that I look at it is that, like, Mortal Kombat's lore, even when it's a little silly sometimes, there's certain aspects of it I definitely don't like. And there's certain things where I'm like, y'all, whoever it is, somebody here is not willing to commit to something, and that's getting all fucked up. And there's certain aspects of that that I still believe happen to be very true. But, oops. Oh. Yeah, so like that's the thing, like, right? From certain lore perspectives, like Mortal Kombat 1 is actually really chill, and I really do think it's kind of cool. Some of the things that they're doing, especially when you compare it to like the timeline that immediately preceded it, some parts are really cool. Something I want to try now that they did this to me. Okay. Alright. That is real then. That's not any weird condition or anything. That's good to know. Alright, so I now have a meterless way. And a resourceless way to set up SA3. Off of Blazer. Sounds like how Shive is now, I think, as NetBlog is supposed to do these games. Yeah. With Guilty Gear, it'll be interesting in particular because they do still have a couple of plot threads that they can pick at. They still do have a couple, but like a lot of the nah. Sorry, JP. I respect it, but nah. You're gonna have to jump, bud. I'm about to say, you better jump, because I'm about to laser check you. You better jump. Yeah, with Strive it's interesting because they definitely have a lot of plot points that they haven't hotbeds that are probably still up and open. And even with the condition that Soul is in at the end of Strive story mode, it doesn't discount him from like doing other stuff, just not necessarily on the same level that he has been prior. Let's go. Oh, amnesia. Oh. Wrong. Nah, I'm cooked. I'm not dead, but it's gonna hurt. I still have the drive advantage, but not the lead. No, why'd you do that? Why did you do that? JP, you have to know better than that. Get fucked. Like, why would you do that? No. I'm Ingrid. Don't do that. Literally the worst fucking idea, bro. Blood. Like, why would you do that? So, the reason why I was saying all of that, aside from just popping off, the main thing to keep in mind with Ingrid's Super Art 3, it is not extremely fast for a Super Art 3, but the main thing is that it has horizontal tracking, not vertical tracking. It will miss if the opponent is a little bit too high up, but it will basically spawn its glyph right on top of where the opponent is. Bonk. But yeah, Ingrid's super, while it is a little slower than a lot of Super R3s in this game, she does still have at least some invincible time while it's starting up. And the other critical thing to keep in mind is that it does have horizontal tracking. So while her using it as like a straight up reversal is usually not a good idea for her, unless you are using it to stuff out something that is like really committal from the opponent. Like JP attempting to like fucking like try to sniper bait play me at mid screen was a fucking terrible idea on his part, and that's not good. He should be ashamed of that, because literally, unless he maybe like faked one of his ghosts or something, committing to anything longer than like 18 frames when Ingrid has Super R3 is a fucking terrible idea.
I spell my power onto you. Ooh, not bad.
20 frames.
An example?
So yeah, if you commit to anything that is longer than 20 frames while Ingrid is thrown out Super R3, you eat shit.
Great day.
I haven't fought against Kami in a while. I am also a Kami main, but Yeah, I'll take that one. That's fair. You got me to the corner. Can't even be upset about that. Good throw. Oops. I didn't respond correctly to that at all. Oh. Yeah. And that was my equivalent of pressing a button. That was my equivalent of like doing some shit I shouldn't have been doing. Why y'all like this in casual? It's casual matches. Why y'all like this? Just run the set. Brother. It's casual matches. Run the set.
The top player is here.
Ah, right on time.
Yeah, Jamie's whole thing is that he practices drunken kung fu. So Jamie's whole thing is that oops. As he takes drinks, his damage increases and he unlocks more moves. So at drink level 2, he does the same amount of damage as everybody else in the cast, basically. The damage scaling that he gets is lifted so that he's back to normal levels. Then at drink levels 3 and 4, he goes another 5 and 5% over, for a total of like I think 110% at drink level 4. As well as like by the time he hits drink level 4, he also has like a shit ton of moves unlocked. Drink level 4 Jamie's incredibly dangerous. As the opponent. Like, drink level 1 gives him the dive kick that y'all just saw there. Drink level 2 gives him a spinning kick that mostly is used as like a bridge into super. Drink level 3 gives him a command throw, and then drink level 4 gives him a follow-up to one of his other moves that's also super cancelable. So it's about like, yeah, sorta.
Everything is in my grasp. Now experience
Because Gen's whole thing in Street Fighter 4 is that he would switch, and in Alpha 2 and Alpha 3, he would switch between fighting styles. In Jamie's case, it's less that he's switching between fighting styles and more that he is unlocking more moves to use as he drinks more. Yep. Oops. Didn't have enough to reach. It was kind of worth it. I didn't burn all of my meter on that, and it kept Jamie from kind of just like hitting me with the free 99 as far as drive impacting me for free. So we take those. Good throw, one drink. 2 drinks. 1, 2. I have 2 speakers.
Don't disappoint me.
Ooh, unfortunate for him. See? Nothing wrong with finishing the set. You do 02, 03, 05, I'm fine with that. Or... however long it goes.
Here comes a new challenger.
Ooh, Akuma. Always fun. Dudley for Street Fighter 6. IDK, maybe. We have to see how Season 5 shakes out. As long as people aren't pills about Season 4, I think we'll be okay. So, Akuma's thing, for people who don't play a lot of Street Fighter, who haven't been by the stream very often to hear me break him down before, Akuma's whole thing is that he basically plays a lot like Ryu and Ken in this game, as he does in all Street Fighter games, really. The main difference between Akuma and Ryu and Ken is that, like, Akuma essentially has what I would call a very aggressive offensive tuning in terms of, like, the things that he can do and how he does them. There are ways in which his moveset is essentially a much more aggressive form of Ryu and Ken's, which allows him to, especially if you control him very well and position yourself well, do a lot of like aerial approaches and other things that Ryu and Ken cannot do. The trade-off that Akuma has to make for this is something that in this game especially is... It doesn't make him impossible to play, but it does mean that you are playing with your life in a lot of ways if you're not careful. And that is very simple. Akuma has 1,000 less life than the baseline life total of most characters in this game. So, what do I mean by that? At least presently, right? The standard health value of every character in Street Fighter 6 is 10,000. Marisa and E Honda have 10,500. So they have what, like 5% more health than most characters, right? Zangief Zangief, on the other hand, has 11,000, which is 10% more than most characters do. Akuma has 9,000, 10% less. And the reason why that matters in this game in particular is because Street Fighter 6 is a very swing-heavy game. Damage values get wild. when you spend your resources correctly and you get the right hit, people explode in this game. And so what this means is that for Akuma, right, many matchups become dictated by how well he manages to spend his life or avoid spending it frivolously. Any situation where Akuma is eating a ton of damage or even getting hit tends to be a lot worse for him than it is for other characters. Like, I am not sure if that would have killed anybody who's not an ads hell probably saw that. I don't know if that would have killed any character that wasn't Akuma at that health value. I don't know if it would have killed anybody else. But there are things, as a matter of course, that Akuma just cannot. He cannot take those hits the way that other characters can. And that means that when you're playing as him, while your damage potential is extremely high, and you can in fact like kick some people really, really hard as Akuma and fuck them up, you are essentially running a knife's edge when you're playing as him. Mostly because if you're really reckless or really careless, then as Akuma, you fuck around too much, you run into a hit or two that you really shouldn't have been taking, and if you're against like Ryu or Maritza, you die.
Here comes a new challenger.
Those are not necessarily bad matchups for him, far from it, but more so just that like you have to be very deliberate about how you approach your matchups as Akuma, because if you're reckless, you die very quickly.
Round 2. Fight.
And is Akuma's not gonna come back from the war? Probably never.
Knock knock.
Final round. Fight.
Should be more
Yeah, I gotta be careful because Finley is very good at floating. Out. Up, up. I missed. Oh, thank God, my input got eaten. Either my input got eaten or it. Not every modern player is like this, but a lot of modern players are like this. Not every modern player is like this, but a lot of modern players are like this.
Here comes a new challenger.
Alright, this DJ will be the last one. Because I'm a couple minutes over. But I wanted to get like a solid 3 hours. I was trying to counter. And I deserve to get fucking like that. That's my fault. Yeah, nice kick hook here. Ooh, just barely made it. The DJ's whole thing is that he has his kicks, especially, are relatively long range. He has the ability to he moves very quickly, and some of his moves have feints of themselves where he can kind of like fake doing the specific move that he's doing and make you commit to something where you shouldn't, or do a thing where he like moves very quickly into your space and ducks back out. There we go. I'm like, I want to do something to put a little pressure on him without overcommitting, and it's like, all right, Super Art 2, let's put that down. Yeah, I gotta be there. Because as you see, right, EJ outranges me by like a little bit, and the main thing is that Ingrid is not a super mobile thing, right? And even her drive rush is a little slow. So I have to be very careful about what specific things I do.
Just go over there. Put it. Close your eyes. Put it. You should be more careful.
There we go. We finally did it. Good throw.
Hands over. Come here. Knock, knock. Put it. Close your eyes.
And that's why I've been trying to be more careful about how I set my drive gauge, because even though Ingrid, nice Steffi, even though Ingrid is not very mobile, she does get a lot of benefits out of being able to do stuff like that, right? Good throw.
Just go over there.
Good throw. Slasher. Yeah, see that right there? That was a fake air slasher. The DJ can do that and use it.
Knock, knock.
Fortunately, that slide, even out of a drive rush, that is not plus. I respect that you tried, but that is not plus on block, even out of a drive rush. Nah, buddy. But as you see, right, DJ's drive rush is also very fast, right? So DJ's main thing is that, like, a lot of it is that, like, his overdrive specials tend to be really good for, like, starting combos or otherwise doing certain things, right? And his drive rush is also very fast, which allows him to sort of, like, sneak in ways that he shouldn't. So, like, his whole thing is, like, mobility and sort of, like, pressure through that.
Everything is in my grasp. Now experience.
And so DJ can be very scary in that particular sense, right? The main thing is that a lot of his moves are very committal, which means that if he's not being very careful about what he presses and when, it is easy to, like, pop him with a drive impact, right?
Just go over there. Put it.
Fuck! Messed it up. I should have just done regular sunrise. That's my fault. I should have just done regular sunrise. Light sunrise now. Just flip and it would kill. And you have to be careful about, like, jumping at DJ when he's on the ground, because his anti-air technique is much like Blanca's, is a charge down up. It means you can't, like, jump behind him and force him to drop it unless he's not paying attention. I'm probably dead. I'm burned out. Definitely. Yeah. And that's where DJ's dangerous, right?
DJ wins.
I'll take the 3-1. That's fair. They stuck it out. So yeah. That's us for the night then, I think. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming by. I have not decided what game we're playing on Sunday, but we are playing a game on Sunday. I just don't know what the game is. I need to go look in my handy bag of tricks and figure it out because we just finished Custom Robo. If you're mostly here for fighting games, you'll want to come back next Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're interested in like, mostly I do RPGs, sometimes action games, sometimes platformers. Those I mostly save for like Sundays, largely. Fridays are usually fighting games. Next week, maybe I try to unrust some Blaze Blue for Friday, and we'll see how that goes. Maybe not. But let me see who we can go raid real quick. T5 is on, not T5, because we've been by T5 recently. Yeah, I know. Actually, I know exactly where we're gonna go hang out. I know exactly where we're gonna go hang out. We're gonna go hang out with the homie Pop No Tarts. He does usually like Yakuza speedruns are her things, but she also sometimes just runs other games. Right now, it looks like she's going through Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5. Maybe considering it for Archipelago. For those of you who don't know, Archipelago is basically a thing where games that have PC releases, there are some members of the community who have basically made it so that like aspects of the game get randomized in terms of like items that you need for certain completion or certain other things. And while they are randomized for you, other people who are playing other games have their own items randomized as well. And so in your game, you might pick up an item that one of your Archipelago teammates needs to finish something in their game. As a classic example, like Legend of Zelda, right? If Legend of Zelda if you're doing a Legend of Zelda that has Archipelago support, and then you have somebody else who's maybe playing like Mega Man, right? Maybe it might be a thing where in one of the Mega Man stages, one of the stages for Mega Man, you find hidden like the power bracelet or something. When you pick that up, it goes over to your friend who is playing Zelda, and that's when they get their power bracelet, as opposed to finding it in a dungeon. So it doesn't look like Pop right now is doing it as an Archipelago yet, but she might be considering it for the next. That's her next game to learn for Archipelagos. Here are my links if you want to come hang out with me. I helped co-found and am a worker owner at an indie game studio called Community. If you want to know more about us, you can go over there. And you can join us on Discord. In order to keep the bots out, we do have a very strict, you have to read the rules and you have to join, read the rules and the rules document in the channel, and then reach out to a mod with the correct keyword in order to be let in. This is mostly to like deter bots and stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to join, feel free. Otherwise, we are heading over to go hang out with Pop No Tarts. This is the raid message. That's our raid message. You can throw on whatever emotes you like. They don't have to be my emotes. Just keep them cool, keep them chill. And that's all I got. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask if you go outside, be excellent to each other. Please stay cool. If you're here in the United States, in the Northern Hemisphere in general, it's just really, In the Northern Hemisphere right now, it is really, really hot. Really, really hot over a lot of places. Please hydrate. Make sure that you're getting some salt water when you're hydrating also. Be careful about going outside. All of these Black Lives Matter, trans rights, human rights, reproductive rights are human rights. Palestine, Sudan, the Congo, New Caledonia, and Haiti must all be free. None of us are free till we're all free. Just look out for each other. Take care of each other. That's pretty much all I have to say. Thank y'all very much for hanging out, and I'll catch you when I catch you. Till then, later.